Welcome to the cooking show with Jurijs. Nope. No, probably not. Just joking, guys. We are scaping here today. This is a UNS nano tank, 36 centimeters. Really like it. It's probably one of the first in Europe, and I like the corners with this 45-degree angle. Looks pretty dope. And on top we have the TWINSTAR 360E. You know, it's the E series because of the acrylic legs. We have Tropica soil, we have Tropica tissue culture plants over here, thanks to Tropica for sending this over. We have the ADA SANSUI stone, really nice ones, thanks to ADA for providing these. I have my tools ready in my tool bag, I have the spray bottle over here, and I have a clear film. I will need this one for this scape. Guys, this scapes is gonna be like first part of a series. I would like to show you in this nano-sized tank how you can accomplish small but beautiful layouts that are easy to replicate, and I'm not going to keep them very long. So just, you know, scape them, keep them for 2, maybe maximum 3 months, you know, kind of showing this 90 days progress, and then rescaping them quickly, kind of creating these recipes for you. And yeah, without any further ado, we're jumping right into the scaping action. And if you know what the clear film is for, just comment down below, and I'm gonna see you after the intro. To start scaping this tank, let's put in some soil first. I'm not sure yet if this is gonna be enough, but just in case, I have it nearby so I can add more anytime. By the way, this is regular size soil, and I'm gonna top it with powder type on top, just to help the carpeting plants to settle a little bit better. And the reason is why the powder soil is so good for carpeting plants is simply because the roots of the tiny carpeting plants, they have a lot more contact with the soil gravels. So I have like a little bit of soil in the foreground. I try to make a little slope towards the back, and I will definitely need more soil while we keep going. So I'm starting with the first rock over here. This is, you know, some beautiful SANSUI stone. It is a volcanic stone, it has that layered structure, and the look I try to achieve for this layout is a triangular style. I will start low here, go tall to this side, and yeah, all the rocks will be just stacked in the same direction. That is super easy, and if you work with similar hardscape materials, you can easily replicate this look just by stacking up your rocks the same way I'm doing it now. You see here, all the lines, they are repeating each other. And what I try to do here as well, to not put them all on the same line, either give them a little alternation into different directions. And yeah, that's super easy and straightforward. All I need is basically like 3 rocks to create this base composition. I will get to the front and see how it looks like. I don't know. What is happening? Wrong angle here. So it might be helpful to see it like on the monitor. Okay. Yeah, so just adjusted slightly the angle of the rocks, so it is looking more dynamic this way. I will be adding like an additional stone somewhere here in the back, or maybe this way, but first I need some more soil here in the back. So for this purpose, let's add in more soil. So don't add too much soil at once, otherwise it will end in the foreground. Just a little bit at a time. What does my Apple Watch say? Instagram prime time? Okay, I will take care of this later. So let's smooth it out a little bit in the back. I really like how it's coming along. I see some soil coming here to the front. This could be a little bit problematic, so let's use a stone that is going to fit inside and close the gap. Maybe somehow like this. I would like to have the structure in the same direction. Can I achieve it somehow? Yeah, I think like this I can achieve it. So let's pull the soil out of the way. And actually add this stone over here, guys. You see the gap is closed, and now I can move the soil over here, and it's not coming down, and I have create a little plateau over here. So now I can add, you know, one more rock towards the top of this hardscape. Have it sit somewhere here. We have like another tip. It should be below the big one a little bit. It's okay. I can raise it a little bit. Make this one a little bit lower just by pushing it slightly towards the back. That works super easy. And yeah, I think already right now we have a very well-balanced composition. Yeah, but I would like to add just a couple more details to the layout. For this reason, I have just a couple more stones here. So probably this one could go either to the foreground here or maybe here and just create a little bit more tension. So let's see where it works out the best. I think somewhere like this would be nice. Again, positioning in the very same angle like the big rocks. And that one is for the background. I think if we have a lot of tension here with the big one, it would be nice to have a little like counterpart playing around here in the back. Just having like a second tip that is competing for attention with a big one. And I think that looks good. I think that really looks good, and you have seen me putting it together. Was really quick, super easy. You can do it yourself just by having, I don't know, a selection of 5 to 10 rocks, all of the same structure. Works perfectly with the SANSUI stone. They have all this layered structure. Just look that they are not too flat on one side. If that is the case, you can add another rock like I did here with this one to add a little bit more of depth here. And yeah, just play with the depth by adding one more rock to the background, one more rock to the foreground. So you really take the attention from the very foreground to the very background of the viewer or for yourself. And I think we're almost there with the hardscape. To finalize it, I'm simply going to add a little bit of aqua soil, or what is the exact term? How does Tropica call it? Aquarium soil powder. Okay, guys. Soil powder coming on top. Just a very thin layer. I think I'm gonna use a little container. Have some cooking devices here in the back. Let's scoop it. So here it goes inside. And just by adding the soil, the powder type makes the whole layout look a lot bigger, because, you know, the contrast between the small grain size of the soil and the rocks becomes stronger. And like I said before, the powder type substrate will make it easier for the carpeting plants to settle, because they have more contact to eat with their roots. So they're rooted better and stronger and grow faster, and you have the beat stronger, better, faster. You know what I mean. So, by the way, because we have this triangular layout, I can even see having the substrate like a little bit higher on this side. So I'm gonna take a little bit from the powder to the left side. And kind of the angled look, even in the foreground, can accentuate or increase the impression of movement in the layout. Usually I like to keep the layout like perfectly clean, like substrate flattening level 1000. Maybe a tiny little bit more powder. So I would say. That's about it for the hardscape. It's not bad for 10 minutes hardscaping, so let's get it planted. To plant this layout, I have selected a range of carpeting plants. They're all tissue culture, want to grow from Tropica. These plants are guaranteed 100% algae-free, pest-free, snails-free. There is literally just one type of plant specifically with the mosses. I'm not using mosses now, just saying this in general. You have the exact plant that's on the label, that's inside, nothing else. Some nutrition and liquid, and that's it. Let's prepare these plants quickly and then put them into the tank. So for the plant preparation, I'm gonna use this little tray over here and this little dish here. Let's start with the Eleocharis mini. This one I'm gonna use in the foreground. That is super easy. I just remove the lid, a little ASMR here, and I'm gonna get rid of the liquid. So this is the Eleocharis mini. You can squeeze out a little bit of the remaining liquid. And what you want to do next, you just take this entire portion and kind of rip it apart. And then divide it further so you get some sort of an Eleocharis mini, like a belt, you know, like a strap here. So you have like a uniform thickness, and yeah. When it's like this, you can easily pinch off a little piece. You can prepare yourself several pieces like this, or if you want, you can just pinch off and put it right into the aquarium. So I'm gonna stop here. I will use it just by pinching off and putting it straight into the aquarium. And the next plant we're going to prepare is the HELANTHIUM TENELLUM green. Yeah, this one is very easy as well. I just open the lid, I get rid of the liquid, and if I take the plant out of the cup, it's almost ready to use. There is no substrate, medium, rock wool or anything that needs to be removed, and there are several plants that are interconnected with a little runner. So I'm getting rid of this runner just by pinching off it with my fingernail, and yeah, you can divide it up in little portions. Or you can just keep it as it is and go straight into the aquarium and pinch off plant, pinch off plant. That's what I'm gonna do. If you have a larger tank, yeah, this is where it is probably highly recommended to prepare all the plants, because that will really speed up the planting process. This one is very small. I will need just a handful of pots, so I can do it very quickly on the go. And the last plant we are preparing for the background is the HELANTHIUM QUADRICOSTATUS. This is a larger version of the HELANTHIUM green, and yeah, same process here. Open the lid, get rid of the liquid, take out your plants, and just, yeah, don't rip off the leaves, but look for the individual plants, pinch them off from the runner, from the rhizome, take them individually, just like this, drop them down there, or do it on the fly like I will do it. So now we're all prepared. Now let's get these plants into the tank. Okay guys, so now that I've showed you how to prepare plants, I do it the quick way, just by having them, you know, this little strip in my hands. I'm gonna pinch off little portions and plant them right into the soil. And as you can see, I'm staying away roughly 1 centimeter away from the glass. The reason for this is, I'm gonna demonstrate, if I plant straight to the glass, this doesn't look really nice, you know. I don't like it if I see other people doing it. I prefer to stay like 1 centimeter away from the glass, and when I see the roots showing up on the glass, I know they have made it by themselves and now the plant is growing. Otherwise, you don't know. And also, yeah, I just like it as a cleaner look. So let's spread them evenly in the foreground. You can make as little as, I don't know, 4 or 8 portions from one tissue cup, but you can also make as many as 40 portions. And the way to do it is very simple. I'm gonna probably demonstrate you on the second cup. It's easier. So For now, I'm just planting one single row of Eleocharis mini along the front glass, and I'm keeping kind of an equal distance between the portions of approximately 1 or 2 centimeters. And yeah, you want to try to plant as even as possible, and don't be afraid to plant deep. That is going to give your plant a very secure position in the substrate, and also it won't float up when you fill with water. Okay, we're almost done with the first line. So moving further with Eleocharis mini, second line. Yeah, I don't know, I could maybe plant like in between to alternate, so it looks more even in the beginning. Guys, like after 2 months it will be all one solid carpet and you will see no planting positions, so don't worry, it really doesn't matter. I could even close my eyes and do it with closed eyes. I think Oliver Knott did it once on a trade show, like blind scaping. I actually was very curious to see how it's gonna look, but I have to tell you, he did a good job. So maybe I will try to do something myself one day, eventually, when I get bored, do this blind scaping thing just with closed eyes. But yeah, I don't know, except of the show effect, I don't see any point of doing it. So guys, I promised to show you how you can achieve 40 portions out of one single tissue culture cup. So what you want to do, you first divide the entire cup like in 2 portions, just in the middle, just rip it apart. Then every half you divide again in half, so you get 4 equally sized portions. They're right about the same size. So let me move 3 of them aside. And this one, I'm gonna make 10 little portions out of it. And if I can make 10 out of this, I can do 10 out of each of the 4, which would give me 40 total portions. So to do this, I'm gonna divide it again in half, super easy. And I'm gonna divide this in half again. So yeah, let's put it on the rocks here. So I have already 4 in total. If I keep dividing this further, you know, okay, they're gonna be everywhere, doesn't matter. Just like this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, divided this one, 8. Let's divide this one more time, 9. And I don't know, maybe this one more time. Okay, so we have over here a total of 10 portions, and because I have just done it with that 1/4, if I do it with the other 3, I'm gonna have 10 by 4, 40 portions of Eleocharis mini, which is literally just enough to plant the entire aquarium. But because I'm not limited here, I'm using slightly bigger portions. It is simply a little bit more convenient, and also it gives a quicker result in terms of a full carpet. And like I told you initially, I'm aiming to don't keep this tank for a very long time. I want it to be filled in very quickly and rescape it quickly as well. So this side is almost filled. Okay, so while I'm planting the remaining Eleocharis mini species, guys, let's talk briefly about carpeting plants. My very first carpeting plant was in my very first scape, and I consider my first scape the one that I used soil substrate, and it was Hemianthus cubae. Well, no big surprise, and probably no big surprise, it melted away and I had to redo it. So I wasn't born with the aquascaper skills. But everyone can learn it. So what happened after the Hemianthus cuba melted, I just replanted the entire thing and I adjusted the nutrients. And my main problem was my tap water was super soft and the soil reduced it down to 0, and with CO2 injection I had very acidic kind of environment in my tank, so probably any plant would have melted. So I have increased the pH with some minerals, and from there on I was good to go. And the second trial I did the Glossostigma and it worked out like magic. And I was very happy in the first moment, but I got tired quickly after a couple months of weekly trimming the Glossostigma. And I haven't used Glossostigma in a while, but after visiting Niigata, the ADNH Aquarium Gallery in 2017, I have to say, if you can keep it super short, man, Glossostigma can look really, really nice. So definitely gonna give it a try, but not in this Nano Aquarium. So adding more over there, some more here. Yeah, and I think towards the back I'm gonna switch up for, yeah, maybe on the plateaus here a little bit more Eleocharis mini for that mixed look. By the way, I'm really curious to know which was your first carpeting plant. Please let me know down in the comments below. Really curious to know and what your experience was with that carpeting plant. I guess if you have used soil, it might have been a success. Maybe if you haven't had soil, maybe it was less of a success. That's how it usually is with carpeting plants. So this area is a little bit difficult. I might think if I'm gonna find something to fit in there to fill in these gaps. So I have enough Eleocharis mini in the layout. Now let's go for the ECHINODORUS TENELLUM, and this is this one over here. And like I told you before, I don't like to spend a lot of time for preparation. Just gonna take it from the rhizome and plant it into the substrate. Actually, this tank could work very well as a monoculture just with Eleocharis mini, but I think mixing up things a little bit can be interesting. Also, the ECHINODORUS TENELLUM, because it's growing on this rhizome, is going to come to the front, eventually hang, over the rocks, and it could look nice when it's going to mix up a little bit. We're in the process here of planting. It kind of goes quickly. Okay, so some more on this side. And the plants, they're literally buried into the soil. Just the leaves look out a little bit, and that's no problem. The plant, as it grows, it will grow above the soil. Okay, so a little bit more towards here, that one here. I can literally grab the plant with the tweezers, rip it off and plant it immediately. That works. Okay. Do we have more? We have a little bit more. Where are we using it? Let's put some over here in that corner for a smooth transition to the background plant, which is going to be the Quadricostatus. And I have some more here. What can I squeeze it in between? Yeah, let's get it down there. There is a little soil gap. I'm using it, so problem solved with this area here. Just squeezing the TENELLUM green in between. One more. Where does this one go? Let's put it down here. Okay, we are done with the ECHINODORUS TENELLUM or ECHITENELLUM. Sorry guys, I can't get used to this name. For me it's just still ECHINODORUS TENELLUS green. The HELANTHIUM TENELLUM version just confuses me. So this one is HELANTHIUM quadricostatus. Okay, used to be ECHINODORUS quadricostatus. By the way guys, if you are wondering why the plant names are changing all the time, that kind of happens a lot in the hobby. The reason is when the plants are first discovered and for the first time there is a scientific kind of description of the plant. The person who is doing it, he's trying his best to classify this plant into a family, and then it has a name. But as you know, time goes, we have new technologies, new scientists, and yeah, also by checking the DNA we're able to discover the real family of the plant. And yeah, if it was labeled wrong in the past, then it's renamed. So we are getting towards the rear corner up here, the final HELANTHIUM quadricostatus. I'm practicing it, and I was just told that it's not the family that is reclassified, it's the genus, because the family is a little bit higher in the hierarchy. So adding the HELANTHIUM quadricostatus to the back of this tank. And I think I even might add a little bit of the Eleocharis mini even to the back, so we have some sort of like ground cover, and also just to use this portion that would be otherwise wasted. So I hate wasting plants, guys. It's like with food. I always clean the entire plate. So adding this to the back, a little bit in between, like a little filler, and we're done. And I'm gonna give you an overview and talk about the maintenance of this aquarium and the result that I want to achieve with it. Okay, planting finished. And yeah, something super cool about a layout like this, you have seen, you have nice rocks, you can do the composition super quick. It is hard to go wrong. I'm using just green plants, they're all grass kind of substrate, you know, carpeting type of plants. So all I want to achieve here is just one solid carpet to see all the soil covered with green, and something like this can be achieved in a very, very short time, you know, like something like 2 months or 3 months. This tank gonna be on its peak, you know, if I don't go fancy and start adding moss and bucephalandras or something to it. And I wanted to keep it simple for a specific reason. It is not just the series that I want to do for the YouTube channel to show you as many small layouts like this as possible, because these are small, they're easy to replicate, and they're also affordable, because what do you need? Just 3 liters of soil, like 5 kilograms maybe of rocks. How many pots have I used? Like 5 pots or something. Guys, this is really affordable stuff, and the reason behind this simple layouts is also something that I keep teaching you in my workshops, is that if you want to improve your aquascaping skills fast, you have to rescape your tanks as quick or as often as possible. So a small aquarium like this can be rescaped after 2 or 3 months, and I don't mean that you have to waste all the material. You can reuse the soil, you can reuse the plants, you can reuse the rocks. Just do something new with it, and I think just reusing stuff and making something new is what makes this hobby so exciting. And yeah, before I ramble too long, yes, I love rambling, not only George does it, let's give this plant a spray, put the light on, and check out the final look. Since it was a small tank, I've been able to finish the entire planting without spraying. If it is a bigger tank or it takes you just simply a little bit longer, then you should consider spraying in between to prevent your plants from drying out. I keep spraying until I can see that the soil is all the way wet until the ground. I don't want the water level to rise because I want to do a dry start with this aquarium, simply because I'm going to Budapest to visit Green Aqua tomorrow, and I don't have time for water changes. But nonetheless, a setup like this could easily work as a dry start. And what is important for a dry start, that you don't have too little and also don't too much moisture. So you don't want the water to be filled up. You want the substrate like really wet, like, you know, like house plants in general. So keep spraying until you see the soil is completely wet, and then you use the stretch film, the clear film on top to seal it, to keep the humidity inside. So we're gonna do this in a second. Just let me finish the spraying first. Now the substrate is wet enough, let's use some towels to make a clean view for you guys so you can see the final result. The healthy green color and the nice solid black of the SANSUI stone. Also remove the dust from the sides. I like the nice contrast. Almost black rocks, fresh green plants, dark brown, almost black substrate. The contrast just is amazing. So, now the tank is prepared for the dry start. I'm gonna use the clear film on top to prevent it from drying out. Let's put a little bit over here like this. Wait a second, I have my huge Swiss Army knife over here. Not so huge, thought. That one is now perfectly sealed and is ready for the dry start. The only thing that is missing is the light. So this one we can put on top. This is the TWINSTAR 360 E-series light. We can switch it on. So the only thing that is now missing is a timer. Well, thank you, Logan. Can be something like this. This little remote, I did a review video on how to program it. Check it out here in the corner, will be a link to this video. This one you can use to set up automatic on and off mode, maybe some sort of soft dim up, dim down, kind of daylight cycle, or basically just dim it manually. So this goes just in between the power connector. And what I recommend for the dry start, you keep the lights on for 12 hours per day. And once a day spraying, maybe twice a day. You have to see how the humidity is inside, if the plants start looking a little bit dry. So in the beginning, pay a little bit more attention. I think I'm pretty confident that this is gonna work for me with just a single spray per day. So while I'm traveling, my fiance is going to take care of this and give the plants a little spray, give them a little love every day. And hopefully by the time I come back home, I will already see the first runners. And yeah, I will either keep it as a dry start or just fill up the tank to speed up the carpeting process, because I want this to be a really quick one, so I can show you in a follow-up video how it's gonna look like in, I don't know, 30, 60 or 90 days. So guys, this is the final result, the end of the Nano step-by-step tutorial video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. There will be follow-up videos on this one, as well as a quick rescape just in a couple of months, so stay tuned. Give me a thumbs up if you really like this video, subscribe to the channel, smash the button, and yeah, I would love to see you here in the next video, so bye.